Get ready to reunite your passion for early childhood education. I'm your host, Marcia Nicole, and welcome to the Inspiring ECE podcast. Our goal is to build communities where you feel inspired and motivated to be the best version of yourself. So join us as we dive into the world of early childhood education together and reunite that fire that brought you into this profession. As an educator, I know how challenging and rewarding the field can be, and that's why I created this podcast. We'll explore the latest trends and challenges faces in the field. We'll have expert guests and webinars and provide workshop coaching and mentorship programs that will help guide you to your ideal work-life balance. So join us as we dive into the world of early childhood education together and reunite that fire that brought you to this profession in the first place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Inspiring ECE podcast. I'm your host, Marcia Nicole, and today we have an important topic to discuss. Lately, I've noticed that there is a trend on social media platforms as well as other forums where individuals are seeking information about entering the early childhood education field. However, what concerns me is the abundance of negativity being spread within our communities. In today's episode, we're going to tackle this issue head on and focus on promoting the positive side of early childhood education, while still providing the necessary truths about the profession. We believe in striking a balance, giving aspiring educators the right information to make an informed decision about their professional journey. Just like in the classroom, let's create a warm and welcoming and supportive community for all. So, let's dive in and explore how we can inspire and motivate both newcomers and existing educators in the field. So, let's get into today's episode. All right, educators, on this week's episode, we're going to do something a little bit different to start. I'm going to give you a little bit of real talk. Now, let's have a heart-to-heart discussion. It is so easy to focus on the frustrations, the challenges, and all of the negativity around this profession. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. I lived in that space that you're in. It is okay to share that with your community, your frustrations, the times you're feeling overwhelmed. The part that gets me is when individuals are looking for guidance in these forums and in these groups, they're asking questions about the profession, and automatically they're getting negative comments. We've got to stop that. I'm going to say it again. We've got to stop putting the negative first. I know what you're all going to say at me, and I know what you're thinking, but this profession is full of negativity. Yes, it is. If you highlight it, but think about the other side, and that's the point of this podcast, is just for you to think about the other perspective for a second. You've got a brand new person that's looking into becoming an early childhood educator. They are looking for a community base. They want to see what the community is like before they dive into the profession. And bang, they're hit with a wall of negativity. Don't do this profession. It's not rewarding. It's not fulfilling. Why would you want to do it? Choose something else. Let me stop you right there. Regardless if that's what you're feeling, if that's where you are at in your journey, that is okay. But now we're projecting it on a possible new educator before they even get their foot in the door. Educators, let's start with being positive in these forms, okay? Start with, if you have a love for children, look into it. Provide them places where they can go and do their research. Provide them a space where they feel like they can ask questions and get honest answers. I understand you want to be truthful and we need to be transparent, but we are also shutting ourselves off from growth. Those new educators could be coming to help advocate for us. Remember, we need individuals in this field for passion for it to change. If we keep isolating individuals before they even get here, we're doing our own disfortune. Okay, I don't want to get into it. I know some of you are thinking, but that's the truth of the field and we can't keep it a secret. I'm not saying to keep it a secret. What I'm saying is we need to be mindful of how we present ourselves as educators in these groups, as well as what we want to portray in our community. You guys are phenomenal when it comes to supporting each other, but sometimes it becomes a negative space, and we need to be cautious of that. All right, that's it. That's the end of my real talk. We are here building this community because we are going to empower and motivate each other. And it starts on those social media platforms and forums as well. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about it. How can we put our positive foot forward? Let's talk about it. We are going to build this supportive community. That is my number one mission, is to build a supportive community. Okay? So we want to foster these connections. When individuals have questions about the field, direct them to a podcast, direct them to an article, direct them to programs you've taken in the past that inspired you to move forward. Also, celebrate the good things. Talk about the things that inspire you as an educator. Maybe when they're talking about why did you choose this field, tell them the reason, tell them your why. Let's start telling our story, celebrating why we chose this. Yes, it might have changed over the course of our professional journey, and that's okay, but celebrate their why. We all were brand new to the field at one point. We all loved the beginning of it, and we're all trying to get back there. But we've got brand new educators coming into this field with that wonder, that inquiry of why we're doing it, and we need, as veteran educators, to share that joy. So teach them to celebrate their joy and celebrate their wins. All right, educators, let's shift this perspective. So let's transform some of these digital spaces into advocacy spaces or promotion of positivity. So let's celebrate the great work that we do every day. I know there are tons of platforms that are doing that, but those are the ones that we need to focus on. When we hear of educators that are interested in the field, those are the avenues that we want to focus on, and we want to show them first. We can always get to the real truths, but what we need is to build a community of positive educators first. So let's start with that. Another tip. We are in control, educators, of shifting the narrative. I'm going to say it again. We are in control, educators, of shifting this narrative. We could live in those negative spaces. But let's be real. Who is that helping? How does that get us out of our funk and reunite that fire and passion for the field if we are just always in this negative space? So, when we shift that narrative, we can cultivate a positive online presence. And that's what we need. That is what we need. That is where our focus should be. Also, I want to tell you one more tip. Any of the information that you receive or any of the comments that you receive on any of these digital platforms, you need to take them with a grain of salt. They're not written in stone. It is somebody else's opinion and somebody else's perspective. It does not define you. You asked for help and you've got other people's opinion, and that's great. But the bottom line is it's your journey, it's your career, and it's your choice. At the end of the day, you need to do what makes you happy. I'm glad you reached out and asked for opinions and tried to get into the water and feel what the community was like. But let's be real. It's about you. It's for you, and it's your choice. I don't want you to forget that. So let's quickly recap this episode. Kind of started on a little bit of a tangent on a real talk just because I felt like a lot of the digital forums was a negative space. But we recognized the problem and we are going to try and do better. We are going to work on shifting the narrative. We are going to build those supportive communities, and we are going to empower educators. So, who's with me to unleash some positivity? I hope this episode was great for you, or even relatable for some, because I understand that it's hard to get that community feel all the time. But never forget, I Aspire to Educate is here for you. And lastly, I'm going to keep this episode really short and sweet. We try to create spaces where we feel safe and accepted. There should be no silly questions, nothing we can't answer, nothing we can't try to be supportive. I want you to think about your response before you respond to somebody. Let's make sure you are looking at it through a perspective lens, not a negative one. When we are giving feedback to somebody's questions, we want to be professional, respectful, and responsive. We have to eliminate the negativity within our own community for us to be able to advocate and grow together. I know this episode was a little bit different, and that's just because this one hit me close to home when I spent some time scrolling through the forums, trying to reach out to this community, trying to support people with questions, and I was just hit in the face with all this negativity. I want us to try and do better, and it starts right here. I did this episode to let you know that this community is here for you. If you are brand new to the field and you have questions, reach out. If you want to continue your career in early childhood education, reach out. There's plenty of ways to connect with positive individuals that want to help and inspire you to reach those goals in your professional career. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. It was short and sweet and just a little bit of real talk. Thank you for tuning in to the Inspiring ECE podcast. But most importantly, thank you for being a part of this community. In this community, we are here to motivate, inspire, and build a supportive network of educators. And also, don't forget to share this episode and others with your colleagues and friends. And don't forget to visit our Instagram page and click on the link in our bio for a freebie. Got something special for you there. So, until next time, keep listening and keep inspiring. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Inspiring ECE podcast. Thank you for joining us. We had a blast, and we hope you did too. Remember, this is your community, and we want to hear from you. So connect with us on social media at Aspire to Educate. Visit our website at aspiretoeducate.com, and also send us an email. All the details will be in the description or the show notes. And don't forget, we're here to support you through your educational journey. So subscribe and tune in for future episodes. And let's continue to inspire and support each other to the best versions of ourselves. Until next time, have yourself a great day.